What's going on YouTube? So when it comes to mid-size family sedans, there's really only two names that most people think of. That's the Toyota Camry and of course, the Honda Accord. This has been around for a long time and many generations of people have owned these for their family vehicle. That's why it's such a big deal when a new generation comes out, which is exactly what I'm standing next to right now. This is the next generation 2023 Honda Accord. And we're here in person today to take a detailed first look. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So with this new Accord, Honda has done a lot to the exterior design. I'll go through many of the details, but I'll start out up here in the front. You'll notice a lot of the latest design elements being applied here that you may have seen with the Honda Civic, for example, which came out a couple years ago. So you can see that very similar grille. Honda has a more conservative look, but it is also still sporty looking because you've got the gloss black finish running through here, and the grille itself is a little bit of a different shape than the previous generation. Now, this vehicle is going to be available in 6 different trim levels for this new model. The top 4 trim levels, though, are going to be hybrid exclusive. I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the powertrain section, but that is something to be aware of. Just like with the CR-V, we've got that dual structure where you've got the gas-powered models on the lower end and then the hybrid models on the upper end. But continuing our look at our exterior here, we do have a nice looking LED headlight unit. This is going to be standard on all the models. We've got the daytime running light right through there. And we do not have any fog lights, it doesn't look like, but we do have a nice silver accent down here with this gloss black piece. Next up, let's take a look at the wheels. Now I have to say, these are really nice looking wheels. This is a 19-inch alloy wheel. I love this design. You have a lot of P&L black and contrasting aspects. They look very large inside of this wheel arch here. And like I said, it overall really matches well with the exterior design. Now, as we kind of move to the side, you'll notice really some substantial changes for this next generation of Honda Accord. First and foremost, it's 2.8 inches longer than the previous generation, but also just like with many of the other Honda products that we've seen, they have been able to kind of pull back the A-pillar, giving you that longer hood look and giving you a really nice proportion when you view the vehicle over here from the side. It also is has a nice strong body line that runs down through the side, and it's relatively streamlined looking in terms of the design. So you can see it does slope down and kind of seamlessly head into the rear at the same angle. And we'll come around to the rear design as well. Once again, very nice look to this. Honda has really kind of streamlined and made the next generation Accord look really sleek in the rear. I'm really digging the taillights in particular. If you remember the previous generation, it had those kind of like Pac-Man looking taillights. I do like that they've just thinned these out. They've brought this all the way across the back, so it's almost a single piece going across the entire rear. Of course, you got your Accord branding. This is the hybrid touring trim level, if you're wondering specifically what today's example is. But yes, this is the fully loaded model and it looks very nice in the back. So I popped the hood so I could go ahead and talk about the powertrain options you have on board. Now, like what I was saying in the front end of the vehicle, you've got 2 different choices for this next generation model. On the lower end, the gas-powered models, you're going to have the 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and that's going to be making 192 horsepower. If you choose the hybrid model, that is going to be Honda's new dual-motor hybrid system. It's going to be exactly the same as what you see in the CR-V that we just reviewed, and that's going to be making 204 horsepower. So it's going to be the more powerful option for the next generation model. Now, for those of you who are more enthusiast-minded, you might be a little disappointed to know that Honda is discontinuing the 2.0T, that 2-liter turbo model, as well as the 6-speed manual transmission. So you're not going to have those choices anymore. If you want to row your own, you're going to have to choose a Civic instead. Now, as far as the transmission is concerned, both of those models will be paired with continuously variable transmission. It's going to be an eCVT in the case of the hybrid, and they do have a shift simulating effect. Like I said, we just recently drove the brand new CR-V hybrid in California, and that review is on our channel if you want to see how this will likely perform in terms of the overall hybrid system when it rolls out into this new Accord. Now, we don't have any fuel economy numbers at this time, but if it holds true to the CR-V, that is resting nearly 40 miles per gallon. So I would expect pretty high expectations for this all-new Accord hybrid. And let's go ahead and hop into the interior because, you know, as pretty as the exterior is, having a midsize sedan is ultimately about that everyday family practicality. And Honda's always been a company that nails this aspect. So let's go ahead and check out this interior and see if they've nailed it with the next generation. So once inside of the cabin, first impressions are pretty impressive. It's a very nice looking space. The design itself is not particularly surprising. As you may have seen with many of the other Honda products we reviewed on our channel, Honda's kind of moving to a new design theme that is actually, you know, pretty familiar between each model, and this is no different. This does have some similar characteristics to Civic, CR-V, and the new Pilot. But as far as your materials, they're very nice here on our fully loaded touring models. So let's take a look at that first. We do have a soft touch plastic across the upper dashboard, as well as right here. You've got that cool single vent effect that's really been across all of their models with the kind of honeycomb mesh. Looks very nice. Piano black. We've got a stitched leatherette trim that runs through here. And they're also going to continue that stitched leatherette along the center console here. Everything does feel very nice and solid. And you've got more of that high quality materials over here on the door trim. Leather all through there, and a different, or the color match to the seat leather right there along the side. Now, as far as the technology inside of this vehicle, that's kind of the next thing I want to talk about, because you do have some new options that you didn't have previously. And one feature that really stands out, even from all the other Hondas in the entire lineup, that's going to be this display. So interestingly, the all-new Honda Pilot, which is launching at a similar time to this model, won't have this. This is the exclusive 12.3-inch display, and this is also running a brand new Honda infotainment system software. This is a Google-based software, so this has that Android Automotive software baked into the back end of it, which gives you a specific dedicated Google apps. So you have built-in Google Maps. So as you can see, those look absolutely excellent. When you zoom in, you can see all the terrain and stuff like that. Performance on board is really fast. I'm very impressed by this. This feels great. You also have the Google Assistant. So just with my initial impressions here, I'm thinking this is a really big improvement over what Honda has been offering in their previous models with the Honda Link software. And hopefully they'll be able to go ahead and upgrade many of their other models, which are just now coming out actually, to this new software as quickly as possible, because this does seem like, you know, quite an advantage over that version. And like I was saying, it is a 12.3-inch touchscreen, so that's also the largest display size offered in any Honda, no matter what price point you're choosing. And that will tie the Nissan Altima for the largest display in a midsize sedan. Let's turn our attention over here to our gauge cluster. This, as you can tell, is a full digital setup. It's going to be 10.25 inches. This being a hybrid model does mean you have some dedicated specific hybrid gauges, but overall very nice looking setup. Certain parts of it are customizable as well. We do have a head-up display as well, so I don't know if Mason will be able to see it, but we do have a very nice looking HUD, which is a very premium feature for a midsize sedan. As we pull back to the steering wheel, we've got that latest Honda design, nicely leather wrapped. I'm noticing we've got the rain sensing wipers. We also have paddle shifters on the steering wheel, and the wheel itself is going to be manual tilt and telescoping, and it will also be heated. But let's take a look at our storage. Honda always does such a good job with storage, so I am not surprised that this console is literally twice as big as most midsize sedans. This is a fantastic size, really deep. We've got a nice texture down here at the bottom and a 12-volt outlet. We've also got two very large cup holders. Another large storage area. This doubles as a wireless phone charging pad, and we've got 2 USB Type-C ports. And pulling back here, this is actually a change from the current generation of Accord Hybrid, because we have the traditional shifter, and that's going to be across all models for this next generation. No longer will you have some of them with the push button style and some of them with the traditional style. I happen to like this better, actually. You got your driving mode controllers back there, your electronic parking brake. One of the things I do want to point out is you do not have the availability of a 360 camera when you're in reverse. As we come up here, we do have dual zone automatic climate control setup. Nice clicky texture to the buttons themselves. Heated seats. You also have ventilated seats here with the Touring model. You're going to have, for the first time, a Bose speaker system on the top end model. I don't remember exactly how many speakers it is. I think it's 14, but I do like that you have a branded sound system, so you're going to have really good sound quality, and you do have the physical button there, which is a nice touch. And finally, rising up here, we do have an auto dimming mirror. And this is one thing I do want to point out. This is the fully loaded model, and you're noticing we've got a standard size sunroof. That's because Honda, just like with the CR-V, they're not going to be offering a panoramic sunroof on any version of the new Accord. Let's take a look at the back seat. So of course, we're just taking a quick first look at this at an auto show, so I don't have all the specifications, but I can tell you just by feeling this that this is incredibly spacious, guys. Accord has always been huge. Like I said, it's 2.8 inches longer for the next generation. So you're gonna have, naturally, more legroom. And this is just an absolute ton. I'm 5'8". This is roughly my driving position right here. And as you can see, I can really stretch almost all the way out. So very, very comfortable and nice. As far as features are concerned, we do have vents. We've got 2 charging USB ports, and you do also have the rear armrest. The door trims in the back also seem to be pretty high quality. They're padded on the top as well as in the middle and along the bottom, just like with the front. Plus you have heated rear seats, which is something the CR-V is not offering. Let's take a look at the trunk. So looking inside there, as you can see, humongous trunk. I really expected no less. Like I said, Honda always makes sure you have plenty of space. Indeed, this is the case for the next generation. You can also fold the seats. It looks like 60-40 split. And I don't think there's going to be any underfloor storage. I'm wrong about that. There's actually a little bit of underfloor storage even here on the hybrid model. Well guys, thanks so much for joining us on this first look at the all-new 2023 Honda Accord. We hope you enjoyed this and found this useful. And if you're interested in the Accord, we highly suggest going down below and clicking subscribe. That's because we're going to be covering this model very extensively in the near future. This is a vehicle that's going to be on sale relatively soon. And like I said, we will be expecting to be behind the wheel of this hopefully within about a month's time and give you guys full extensive coverage front to back. And as far as pricing is concerned, Honda has not released any official numbers. We do expect the price to rise just a little bit, just like the CR-V did. But anyways, guys, like I said, thanks for joining us for this video, and we'll see you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.